All right, everyone, we're about to get started. My name is Crystal Holland, and I'm a member of the marketing team at Harvard Extension School. We are happy you have chosen to join us today to learn more about graduate certificates at Harvard Extension School. I wanted to take a quick moment to mention that this webinar is being recorded and will be shared with all registrants. I also wanted to comment on our QA section at the end of the presentation. Although we have had plenty of people submit questions ahead of time, but because of timing, we can't get to them all today. So we've pulled the most commonly asked questions and we'll answer those during that time frame. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Today, we will have 3 speakers who will give you a sense of what grad certificates and the ALM degree track is all about. We have Dr. Jamie Gallo, who is Assistant Director of Certificates, Casey Hallett, who is Coordinator of Certificates, Lauren O'Brien, who is a degree admissions advisor, and me, Crystal Holland, who is here to help moderate and make sure everything goes smoothly. Who are we? We are Harvard Extension School. We provide part-time pathways for building new skills, enhancing your professional profile, and expanding your worldview by providing grad certificates, grad degrees, online courses, and undergraduate degree and certificates. So with that being said, let's take a look at today's agenda. Today's agenda consists of defining what is a graduate certificate, how can you earn a graduate certificate, and the pathway to a master's degree here at Harvard Extension School. You'll be hearing from our speakers through each of these categories throughout the course of this webinar. So let's get started, and I'll pass it along to my colleague, Jamie.
All right. Hello, everyone. Happy to have you. My name is Jamie Gallo, and I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about the different certificates that we have to offer and what a certificate is. So currently we offer 41 graduate and 4 undergraduate certificates. When you are thinking about certificates, a couple of things to keep in mind here at the Extension School. Our certificates are academic credentials, not a professional or industry certification. These are courses that you take and you will get college credit for that can be used in degrees, which we'll talk a little bit later on about. When we look at comparing a degree to a certificate, a degree is generally going to consist of 12 courses. Some of our degrees have thesis options, and a certificate is going to be anywhere from 3 to 5 courses, no thesis, no internships required. Another way of looking at it is a certificate gives you expertise in a specialized area, whereas a master's degree, it gives you mastery in a field, but not necessarily a specialized area. Certificates are considered a micro-credential. They are one of the top micro-credentials fastest growing out there right now. And so what that means is that professionals can use that to upskill. So to get the skills that you need either in your current position or future positions to be successful. And it helps you to demonstrate mastery within a certain competency area. Our certificates are time-bound and topic-specific. So what that means is that once you start, you have 3 years to complete the certificate. Many of our certificates are customizable, meaning there's multiple choices for students, so they can pick the courses that still fulfill the curriculum requirements that best meet what they need and what they're looking for. And another great thing is that most of our certificates can be completed completely online. For the summer, our Harvard Summer School is going to be online. We're not sure with the pandemic moving forward what the next semesters will be after summer. So a little bit about our certificates. We can break them up into 8 different areas. We have certificates in arts, literature and media, education, global studies, life sciences, management, social sciences and cultural studies, sustainability and the environment, and technology. And our certificates they're growing. And so every fall, we will be announcing new certificate offerings and or revisions or retiring of certificates. Next thing I'm going to do is talk a little bit about what I can do with a certificate. So like I mentioned, certificates are the fastest growing post-secondary credential. It's a professional and academic credential, and it can be used to further your study, as I'll talk a little bit about after, or as a standalone credential. This chart up here shows student-reported rationale for earning a certificate with us. And so as you can see, most certificate earners reported earning the certificate to deepen their professional expertise, followed by to change job or career, to move up within their career, personal interest, and then preparation for further studies. So as I'll mention in the next slide, our students complete certificates for a variety of reasons. Certificate is a great supplement to any degree, and it can be used as a professional development tool on their own as a standalone credential. So on our next slide, I'll talk a little bit about the extension school itself. Who are our certificate students? So the average age is 36. Most of our students, 72%, are working full-time. 5% are working part-time, and the rest of these are students, full-time students, self-employed, or are not currently working. If we go over the education levels, you can see that majority of our students, when they start a certificate with us, they have a bachelor's degree, followed by a master's, a doctorate, some college, and a high school diploma. Something to keep in mind is we do not require you to have a college degree to start taking courses for our certificates, but there may be certain requirements per classes that you meet for prerequisites. So on the next slide, so some reasons for pursuing a certificate, 41% of our certificate earners stated that they reported some sort of career advancement after earning their certificate. And if we break that down a little bit more, you can see that 47% reported more responsibility, 25% reported a career change, and 27% reported a promotion. And just to give you an idea of the different types of industries and companies where our students work, we've had students come to us from State Street, Amazon, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HubSpot, Boston Red Sox, and Oxford University Press. So our students come from a variety of fields and industries, and it really helps to add to our courses and the Extension School as a whole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass off to my colleague Casey, who's going to talk through the steps of earning a certificate.
Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate that. Greetings, everyone. I'm here to tell you the logistics of just how to navigate earning a certificate with us. On the slide now, you see a list of all our certificates and the areas of study that Jamie had listed off a little while ago. These are the certificates that we offer at this time. Some of them are 3-course, some of them are 4-course, and some of them are 5-course. It depends on which certificate you're interested in, depending on how many courses it would be. The majority of them are 4-course, and there's a handful of 3-course and a handful of 5-course. Like I said, this is a very self-sufficient process for students to navigate the certificates. So once you pick a certificate, you move on to the next steps. In the next slide, we'll go through those steps with you. So step 1 is once you find the certificate interests you, you'll click into that certificate. That certificate page will outline exactly what's needed to earn that certificate, whether or not there's required courses for that certificate or if there's just electives. Each certificate is individual by themselves, but then there's plenty of course options that follow suit for those certificates. On that page that you choose for whichever certificate, there's a red box that you click into, and that will bring you to the course search page. And that basically outlines all the courses that count towards the certificate. And then there's a fulfills column that will let you know exactly how it fulfills that certificate. And the easiest process is to register, which is step 3 during an open registration period. So you can start these certificates any semester that there is an open registration period. We are having our summer registration opening up in March. So that's just a few weeks away if you are interested in starting a certificate rather soon. The summer session is definitely a great way to start. The next slide will give you logistics on exactly what's needed to earn the certificate. Like I said, it's self-sufficient. So once you know the courses that count towards the certificate, you'll need to take those courses at the graduate level credit so that they count towards the graduate certificates. You have to earn a grade of B or higher in each course. This is not a GPA certificate. So each individual course, you'll need to earn a grade of B or higher. Any grade below B minus or lower will not count towards a certificate. There are ways for you to retake courses that you do not reach the grade. So there's definitely chances for you to proceed at earning these certificates. With the grade requirements, there's a 3-year time frame. That 3-year time frame starts at the beginning of your first course towards a certificate. So your very first core class, that's when your time begins. That's the 3-year clock. And then while you do take courses, you can follow your progress by something that's called a certificate course tracker and request form that we have in online services, which is part of my DCE, which is also a thing that you can follow along with all your course navigations and such. So like I said, this is a very self-sufficient credential that you can get through Harvard. However, we do have plenty of resources for you along the way. So we do offer virtual office hours. That's once a week, is certificate virtual office hours, that we answer any questions for any students that want to pop in. We also have the Career and Academic Resource Center, which is available for students that are enrolled with us, the Harvard Libraries, the Math Question Center, and the Writing Center. These are all amazing resources for all of our students. So you do have ways to progress with us without feeling like you're doing it alone. We are here for you. Once you do earn the certificate, you do become an affiliate of the Harvard Extension Alumni Association as a member. So that is also a wonderful resource at the end of all of this to go along with your certificate credential. And with that being said, a lot of certificates are a wonderful credential to earn. And a lot of students have questions about carrying those on to a degree. And we have just the person for you to answer those questions today. So I'm going to pass off to Lauren O'Brien with our admissions department to give you some more info on how you can continue.
Thank you, Casey. So my name is Lauren O'Brien. I'm an admissions advisor here at Harvard Extension School. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time today discussing how to transition from earning a certificate to earning one of our graduate degrees. So we have many students who start with the goal of earning a certificate and continue on to a master's program. And it can be quite easy to do, as we allow up to 2 graduate certificates to stack toward our graduate degree programs. So for those who are interested in this pathway, the best way to start is by selecting a graduate certificate which relates to your degree field of interest. So for example, the data analytics certificate has a lot of overlap with our finance degree program. And likewise, a certificate in international security could stack easily toward our international relations degree program. So as Casey described earlier, to find certificate courses, you should use the course search for that specific certificate. So each of our degree programs has a degree course search, which you should always use to select your degree courses. So if you know upfront that earning a certificate and a degree is one of your goals, I would recommend pulling up the two searches, the one for your certificate and the one for your degree, and then comparing how the courses that interest you count toward each of those credentials by looking at that fulfills column that Casey described. So for the courses to count toward both your certificate and degree, you need to earn at least a grade of B or higher in each of them. Our degree programs can accept grades of B minus or higher for non-admission courses, but they would not satisfy in a certificate requirement if you earned a B minus. So the B or higher is what you should be aiming for if both are your goal. And lastly, our graduate programs do require an application for admission. And in order for your certificate courses to count toward a degree, you will need to apply for admission within 5 years of completing them. Any course which is more than 5 years old at the time you apply will be considered expired and will not fulfill degree requirements. Once you're admitted, those courses lock in, so you don't have to worry about expiration anymore. So on our next slide, we have our graduate degrees listed. So we have 24 graduate degrees. And you'll see that the different degree areas are the same as the ones that are listed for our graduate certificates. So this should help you visualize which certificates could stack easily toward the degree program that you are interested in. You are not, locked into selecting a degree and certificate from the same topic area. You can kind of mix and match, but it'll just be important to do a little bit of research to see how they overlap. And our specific certificate web pages are also a great resource for this because they list related degrees, which you could look into in more detail. On our next slide, Harvard Extension School has what we call an earn your way in admissions process. This requires the completion of 2 or 3 field-specific admission courses with grades of B or higher and a formal application. So each of our degrees has a degree requirements page, which will list the courses required for admission. So as mentioned, you'll need to earn a grade of B or higher in each of these admission courses. And you should submit your application while completing your last course for admission. So I want to stress again, it's very important to look through that degree requirements page thoroughly because some fields do have additional admissions criteria, and all fields have a specific set of required courses, number of courses which need to be taken in residence, among other things. There are some additional criteria. So prior to working toward admission to our graduate programs, you must have completed a regionally accredited US bachelor's degree or its foreign equivalent, which was conferred before starting your graduate coursework at Harvard Extension School. Additionally, you cannot already have a previously completed master's degree in a related field. So if you have an MBA, for example, you may be ineligible to pursue our management and finance degree programs. So the admissions office makes all final determinations regarding eligibility, and we urge you to confirm yours prior to taking courses. So another requirement is our online test of critical reading and writing skills, which is a prerequisite for many admission courses and an admission requirement for all of our fields. Students are allowed 2 attempts at this test, and if they don't pass, they have to take an alternative expository writing course in their field. If you prefer to just take the course and not attempt the test, that's fine as well. They're both good options. So I always recommend attempting this test early, just so that you do not have trouble registering for your admission courses. And so you can know whether or not that expository writing class is required. And so lastly, in addition to earning grades of B or higher in your admission courses, you'll need to maintain a GPA of 3.0 in all degree applicable courses. So, there's a chance, for example, that your certificate will count as 4 electives toward management. Then you take your admission courses. You could have 7 courses being calculated as part of that GPA when you apply. So we look at all degree courses for that number. So for those interested in our graduate degree program, I recommend utilizing our admissions advising resources. These include individual advising appointments, which are open to students who have completed a course or are registered in their first course at Harvard Extension School. So individual appointments are the best option for discussing concerns regarding eligibility or your specific course record. For more general questions, we have weekly open office hours via Zoom. So each session is an hour long and you can pop in at any time during that hour to ask your questions. You're also welcome to join and just listen to the questions that other students ask. Our next session is scheduled for February 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. The admissions office also hosts information sessions on specific topics each year, such as on our application process. These sessions will be advertised on our virtual office hours webpage, which we'll link to a little bit later. And advisors can also answer questions via email at admissions@extension.harvard.edu. This is usually the quickest way to get an answer to your admissions questions in case our calendars are booking out for appointments. So lastly, we do have informational videos for our admission process and our specific degree fields, which are worth reviewing. And all of the above can be accessed from our admissions advising webpage, which we'll also include in a moment. So I am going to hand it back to Crystal now, who will discuss some next steps for earning a certificate.
Thank you, Lauren. So yes, next steps. As mentioned earlier, we have a summer and a fall start to classes. To start in the summer, registration opens March 2nd for Harvard Summer School courses, and we offer 3 and 7 week sessions, which will all be online for summer 2021. These summer courses can be found in our certificate course search on our website. And if you're looking to start in the fall, the courses for 2021-2022 will be live in June, and registration will open mid-July. And please watch out for more information via upcoming live events and our social channels. So that brings us to the Q&A section. Again, we've had plenty of people submit questions ahead of time, but because we can't get to all of them in the time that we have today, we have pulled the 6 most commonly asked questions for you today. Our first question, which will be answered by Jamie, is what tips do you have for choosing between a certificate and a graduate degree or pursuing both?
Okay, thank you, Crystal. So when students come to us and they're trying to decide what is the best fit for them, certificate or a degree, it's really a advising and personal question depending on what their goals are. I can tell you that we have students who earn a certificate before a degree, with a degree, and after a degree. We also have certificate students who earn their certificate just as a standalone credential. Like I mentioned earlier in the presentation, some of the positives of the certificate is that it's a quick return on investment. You're not taking as many classes, so it's faster. One way to look at it is it's almost like a minor that you would have. If you already have a graduate degree, it's a great way to supplement or add a specific skill set that you want to help with employment and professional outcomes. So if the certificates office is here to answer any questions that you have related to certificates. And then, like as Lauren mentioned, the admissions office can help if students start to ask, if they start to wonder how their certificate could fit in with one of our graduate degrees. But you're always welcome to reach out to us via email or our office hour to talk through advising wise to figure out what might be the best fit for you. So I'm going to hand it back to Crystal for the next question.
Thank you, Jamie. On to question number 2, which Casey will answer for us. And question number 2 is, will we only have online course options at this time?
Hi, yes, currently we only have online course options at this time due to the pandemic. However, our certificates are available online all the time. So there's no need to come to campus at any time. Our certificates are always available completely online. We don't know whether or not courses will be back in campus or when. We assume they will be, just don't know exactly when, but keep an eye out for that. Back to you, Crystal.
Thank you, Casey. On to question number 3, which again, Casey will be back to answer for everyone. Question 3 is, what is included on the graduate certificate?
Right. So again, because our certificates are so self-sufficient, I just want to remind people that we have the certificate tracker and request form on online services. So basically, when you've completed all the courses for the certificate that you desire, you can request it online. Once it's processed and awarded, the certificate says, Harvard University Extension School. This certifies that student name has met the requirements for this awarded certificate, whether it's 3, 4, or 5 courses in said certificate. And then you can obviously add that credential to your LinkedIn resume and such.
Thank you, Casey. Question number 4, which we'll have Jamie answer for us, is how do employers view a certificate?
Thank you, Crystal. So generally, certificates are viewed highly by employers. There's a couple of reasons for that. As I mentioned before, it's one of the fastest post-secondary credentials. It can often lead to an increase in pay, an increase in skills and authority that one has within their role. It also can help with looking into a new specialty area within your career field. So I looked at some of the student testimonials from students who've completed our survey, who've reported what earning the certificate has done for them. And a couple of the themes that came out when I was looking through that was a promotion, more credibility within a specific role, more authority, so more management responsibilities, picking up new skills or roles within their position, and then a deepening understanding within their field. So again, a variety of different benefits and both professionally and personally from earning a certificate. So I'll hand it back to Crystal now.
Thank you, Jamie. So question 5, we're going to have Lauren answer this for us. And it says, can you get their certificate while on the ALM track? And can you apply courses used in one certificate to an additional certificate?
Thank you, Crystal. So the ALM is our Master of Liberal Arts. That's what that stands for. So although many students start with a certificate and transition into a degree program, we do have a number of students who prioritize admission first and then decide they want to earn a certificate after they're admitted. This can actually be a great option because adding a certificate can add a specialization to your degree field. It can also provide you with a credential that you can earn along the way to finishing your graduate degree. So this is something that you could put on a resume, while you're still finishing your program, which will show potential employers that you are working in a particular area or have expertise in a particular specialization. So to the second question here, each certificate requires a unique set of courses. So if you use a course to satisfy a certificate requirement for one certificate, that course cannot be used for another certificate.
Thank you, Lauren. And so for our 6th and final question of the day, we'll have Lauren stay with us and she'll answer for us. After earning a certificate, how much time do I have to complete the master's?
This is a great question. Thank you, Crystal. So each of our graduate degree fields have a 5-year degree completion deadline. So when this clock starts depends on your field of interest and the number of admission courses which are required for that field. So for fields that have 2 admission courses, the clock would start after your 2nd degree applicable course. And for fields that have 3 admission courses, it would start after your 3rd degree applicable course. It's really important to keep in mind that this 5-year timeline starts regardless of whether or not you're admitted to the program. And it starts with any degree applicable courses, not just the admission courses. So if you're stacking a certificate toward a degree, it's likely that your degree completion clock will start while you're working on finishing the certificate. So the 5-year deadline is calculated differently than the one for certificates. Certificates have 3 years from the start of your classes. For our timeline, we're looking at, after a term is completed, and we base ours on academic year rather than calendar year. So if you have questions about your particular deadline for a certificate or a degree, please do get in touch with the certificates office or the admissions office. We understand that certificates and degrees can be quite complex and they can be very challenging to plan for, and that everyone's situation is unique. So we're here to help you find the best path forward to meet your particular goals. And so Crystal is going to pull up a slide now that will have our contact information so you can see the best ways to reach us.
Thank you, Lauren, Jamie, and Casey for answering those questions for us. So as we near the end of this webinar, I wanted to share this contact page that you can reach out to with any other questions or concerns that you may have. First, we have the certificates office, who can be reached at graduate_certificates@extension.harvard.edu. And as mentioned earlier, they have weekly office hours every Wednesday from 12 to 1 Eastern Standard Time. You also can reach out to our enrollment services team at inquiry@extension.harvard.edu. And lastly, our admissions teams can be reached at admissions@extension.harvard.edu, and feel free to check out their advising page as well. And that pretty much wraps up today's webinar. And I wanted to say thank you to everyone for taking the time today to join us and learn more about our graduate certificates, our graduate degrees, and our ALM degree program. And as a reminder, this webinar is being recorded and will be sent out within the next week, but please feel free to reach out if you have any other questions. And I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the day and the rest of the week. And thank you for joining us.